Well, hi, I am John Hart, and welcome back to Mr. America Hart. Today I'm talking to you about HRT versus TRT, and what do those initials mean, and what is the difference between the two. And you got to know what you're getting involved in. That's really important in either case, okay? So I'm going to take it with the TRT first. TRT, Testosterone Replacement Therapy. It's not necessarily replacement therapy as much as supplement therapy. Testosterone therapy, when it comes to certain men who have dropped their testosterone levels, whether they've done it naturally as they've just gotten older and had already lower testosterone levels to start with, or if they've artificially messed it up through their use of anabolic steroids, androgenic steroids. That does the trick right there as well. For a temporary time period, at least in most cases, they will have messed up their normal production of testosterone. Okay? So testosterone replacement therapy attempts to supplement whatever testosterone the body is naturally making and raising it up to what would be considered a normal level for a certain age group. And across the spectrum from teenage all the way till in the 90s, they have certain standards of levels of testosterone that can be tested for. So testosterone replacement therapy. Hormone replacement therapy, on the other hand, as the name may indicate, is a little bit more broad. It originally meant mostly, it was meant for women who were going through menopause, hormone replacement therapy. They were given estrogen, progesterone, whatever hormones it took to get them back to what was a normal level of hormone production, and this would improve their lifestyle, basically. However, the other hormone replacement therapy that has been used, or that name has been used to describe, is one in which hormones such as testosterone plus growth hormone plus, it's addressing an orchestra of hormones, plus insulin levels, plus thyroid levels, going through the entire endocrine system and seeing where everything is at, and perhaps supplementing or addressing any deficiencies or anything that may have dropped off, which may be causing some negative symptoms or a hampered lifestyle for the individual. And all of you know who have watched my channel that I've done several videos on this topic in general. It doesn't matter if we're talking about testosterone replacement therapy or hormone replacement therapy. Myself being, it doesn't matter that I've been a natural bodybuilder and all that stuff. I believe in whatever makes your lifestyle better, okay? And you're the one living in that ship. You're the one who has to, live out your days a certain way. So quality of life is very important. And my two big considerations. One is that, of course, the patient, the individual, needs to know all the possible side effects or ramifications down the line that they may face, okay? Depending on whether they do testosterone replacement or just an overall hormone replacement. Ask the doctor questions, right? Learn about what you're doing. That's number one. If in fact, there are symptoms accompanying lower testosterone that lead to depression in particular, that I've always been a little bit sensitive to that, probably because I've met so many men over the years who were literally depressed, and they faced an actual physical problem. It wasn't just mental, and some of them, literally suicidal. And so I'm a big believer that if you're a man and you suspect you're running low on testosterone, and that could be symptoms, everything from erectile dysfunction to low energy to an increase in body fat, a decrease in lean muscle mass, and then on top of it all, the one unspoken one, depression. If that one really, really hits, then it's a visit to your endocrinologist. It's a visit to your internal medicine doctor. Got to find out. You need to know. Okay, so I feel so strongly about that. That's number one. But my number two, and this one's more of a peeve, right, that I've had over the years with regards to testosterone replacement. A lot of the men who used to be bodybuilders, they default. They immediately jump to Well, I'm retired from bodybuilding now, and they say to themselves, or they say to their friends in the gym, more appropriately, and they say, oh, I'm not going to take the juice anymore. I'm not going to be blasting anymore. I'm not taking steroids anymore. So therefore, I've broken my body's ability to produce natural testosterone. And they repeat this so many times to themselves and to their friends. They say it as if it's just a foregone conclusion and a truth, when in fact, that's not the case. In most cases, that's not the case. If you originally had a low testosterone level and then you went on and took these drugs for years and years, then it's going to take either quite a while to come back to any sort of a normal. You're going to be crawling back hormonally to get to a normal level naturally, or you just pretty much got older at that point and you're not producing like you were in your teens. So it's going to feel bad compared to being on the steroid or being on the drugs and blasting. Okay, so defaulting on you've broken your body's ability to produce that testosterone and you're just gonna get on TRT or call it HRT, either one, in retirement and just take only 200 milligrams of testosterone, usually a long-lasting ester. That right there is an assumption. Okay, so this is where. Personally, I hear guys talking like this and I'm rolling my eyes immediately. Whether it doesn't matter if I'm watching a video on it or I see them in person or they're telling me themselves, I roll my eyes. Because my first question becomes, what does the doctor say? When you got your testosterone levels checked after supplementing with that 200 milligrams of testosterone for the last 6 months, what were your levels? Were they sky high? I mean, like slightly above even the highest teenage levels? Well, I'll tell you, if you're in your 50s or 60s or 70s, that's too much. It's too much for most of y'all in those age groups. You know, you're gonna be running around like a teenage kid, boof, like this, acting like one too. So, but an appropriate level to get you within a certain range that you agree with your doctor. Okay, so that's important. That's very important. The appropriate amount to take in such cases. When you're done having a career in bodybuilding especially, and you're now doing TRT, or even if you call it HRT, the appropriate way to go about it is to get your blood tests and see exactly where your body is and how it's responding to these chemicals. Okay, so if you've made the decision to go down that route with your endocrinologist or your internal medicine doctor, and you've gone ahead and pulled the trigger, boom, there you go. Now what are you going to do? You take the medication your doctor prescribes, whether it's just TRT, or you get a good doctor who can check out all your hormone levels. HRT, maybe there is a growth hormone, a highly androgenic steroid like a testosterone, and then maybe there's a highly anabolic one, like an Anavar or something like that, oxandrolone. I don't know, but that's up to the doctor and yourself to go through. And that being the case, some of y'all may have even some thyroid issues that need to be addressed. I don't know. So addressing that, addressing the testosterone, either way. But once you do address it and you decide to go for it, it's not just some kind of random thing that in the gym, a standard dose of 200 milligrams per week is going to get you to be normal and you run around telling people you're on TRT, when in fact, what you're doing is you're just taking 200 milligrams of a steroid every week and calling it that, not knowing what it's doing to your body, not knowing what your test levels are, not knowing that you may be doubling the amount that your body even needs to be normal at that point in time, which brings side effects down the line, sooner than you think even. So prostate issues, this could be serious down the line, blood pressure issues. You don't know. You just don't know. So I'm urging you, whether you're talking about doing TRT or HRT, and whether you are just a gym guy, that, hey, you've been blasting and cruising for the last couple decades or maybe several decades, and you decide to get off, well, go off. And I'll tell you this much. Back in the day, before all this talk about, hormone HRT, hormone replacement therapy, HRT or TRT, was thrown about so much in the gym, and before the belief system that you're going to hamper your body's ability to produce testosterone completely. in retirement. Before that all happened, okay, guys would just go off the drugs, that is. They'd stop taking them. And I knew several in the gyms that, man, over the years, they'd stop taking them. Yeah, they'd shrink. Yeah, they felt bad. Yeah, all of that. Some of them with their wives who stuck by them throughout their careers. Some of them had determined that they wanted to start a family. At that point in time, they had to get their testosterone levels up, their sperm count up, and most of them had to wait it out. I remember one man telling me that his doc said to him, "Son, you've lived the last 20 years of your life super huge, bigger than life, and now you've come off the drugs, and now you want to be normal and have a normal life and a normal family. Well, now you have to experience certain negative side effects of coming off, and you need to go through it. You need to remain strong." And he was talking to a pretty strong individual. So this former bodybuilder telling me this seemed kind of harsh. The doctor was talking to him that way, but I was like, man, can't the doc help you with a little something to ease that crash? But in reality, the doc was describing to him something that he prepared him to do mentally. And so he got actually prepared mentally to get there. And he knew that if he pushed through this year, if he pushed through, the next 12 months and dealt with it, that on the other side of that was a life of being normal, a life of having normal testosterone production, a life of living naturally at that point. So, or believing that it would be natural. That's important to put it that way, that you don't always have to believe that it's permanently going to mess up the hormones, right? But down the line, there could be a decent amount that the body produces. I do know one former IFBB professional bodybuilder. Personally, I know him. I'm friends with him. And he has regular blood work done. And when he shows me that blood work and that testosterone level knocking down a 954, and for those of you who know, the 954 is high normal. It's sort of teenage normal. And this man is now in his 60s. So that's his norm. It's been his norm for years, without any steroid whatsoever, without any hormone replacement, without any chemicals entering his body at all. As a matter of fact, he's so organic and paranoid that he messed up himself, that he created some big time bomb waiting for him health-wise down the line that he gets over-tested with the blood work every quarter. He doesn't even wait 6 months to get tested. So, which brings up a little side note too. If you do go and you get tested and the hormone levels are lower, or certain ones are lower, you do want a great doctor who's going to check all of your markers to make sure that you don't have anything weird going on, like a tumor on your pituitary gland or anything like that. Really important, okay? So it's not just, the big takeaway message today, guys, is this. Don't just default on, gym science. Oh, I'll just take, 200 milligrams of cypionate, or testananthate every other week or every week, for the rest of my life. Don't default on that. Get to your physician, get to a great one, get a great referral from somebody who's living really healthy that way, and get that doctor, sit down with them, learn as much as you can, and then get tested regularly and make sure that your hormones are in line with where you want them to be. Adjust the chemicals accordingly to have a great quality of life. And I say that primarily because of the depression factor. All of the physiological problems and challenges that a lot of former bodybuilders go through, some of it, yeah, you lived huge, you lived strong for many, many years, and there's some, you want to play, you got to pay. There's going to be a little bit coming off that you're going to feel, and it's not going to feel good. And so on your way to normal, you may feel less than normal for a while, and that's it. So while I don't believe you should get to the point where you're suicidal at all, not at all. Hear me again say that. You never should. Then on the other hand, maybe there is just a little bit of a hormonal downswing you have to go through to get to something really good on the other side. How would you know unless you tried? How would you know? Get medical supervision along the way. Check your hormones regularly. See if they're coming up slowly. See if the sperm count's coming back. All of that. Treat it like a science project, like my buddy does, the former IFBB pro bodybuilder. He treats it like a science project. Do the same. That's it for today. From my heart to you, John Hart, I hope you got something out of this video. And you know, from my heart, I really, really mean, you know, that I care about you and I want the best for you. So that's it for today. Hey, before you go, off to my left, you're going to see this disc pop up. That is the subscribe button for my channel. Please give that thing a tap. And then down below, off to your left, that thumbs up button. Will you tap it and turn it blue? That lets the YouTube algorithm know how much you're loving my videos, my channel. And I love it too. I'll see you soon.